Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lily. I am so happy that you are here with me today. In today's video, I have another super stinking cute project for you. You're going to love this. You know how much I love working on little house envelope pockets. Well, today we are going to work on little honeycomb envelope pockets. Look at that, how cute. And this was like the prototype. So I went from this to this, and then to this, and then there's a couple more, and then I went to this. Oh my gosh, so stinking cute. We are going to work on two of these. I'm going to show you step by step how it is that I created these, and you are going to love them. So even though the idea started out looking like this, I kept working until I absolutely loved the finished project, and you are going to love it. So stick around. We're going to go through all the steps, and I'm also going to give you a close-up view of each and every one of them so you could see how the project evolved. Are you excited? I'm excited. Okay. If you are here for the first time, welcome. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. If you have been with me for a while, I am so glad that you are still here with me working on wonderful projects. You know how much I love to repurpose junk mail envelopes, and that's what this is all about today. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share so that we can get my videos out to everybody else. So if you love it, I'd appreciate your support in that way. All right, let's get started. I'm going to flip over the camera so we can begin. Thanks.
I'm going to begin by giving you an up-close look at what I started with and what I ended up with. And this is the first one. No, actually, this is the second one that I worked on. And I didn't know exactly how I was going to execute these cute little honeycomb little houses, but I knew I needed to start and then it would evolve and progress from there. So this is the first one. I did some jelly printing. I went through all of my supplies and I gathered up anything that was sunflower theme and bee theme. And I came across these pretty cute bee stickers. And after I put it all together, I mean, it turned out super, super cute. I think it's so, so cute. But it wasn't quite the bee that I was looking for. But in order for me to move on from that point, I needed to start somewhere. And so if you are ever stuck and you don't know what to do, just begin, just start, and then it will just take off from there. So then I had other bee stickers, and so I changed it around a little bit, and I used these that are more transparent, more clear. And these are actually from Dollar Tree. The first ones were stickers that I've had from Michael's for several years. And I really like the way these clear stickers looked. And then I did some work on the back. This one was still plain. I used washi tape from Your Creative Studio. So I basically went through all of the supplies, and I had some items left over from a Your Creative Studio kit, and then also things for my own personal stash. So after I worked on these two, I really liked them, but it still I wasn't satisfied. So I needed to keep going. And then I worked on this one. So I jelly printed directly on the junk envelope. And then I added some trim, and I had scraps of some sunflower scrapbooking paper left over. And so you could see here that I did some jelly printing, and I'm going to show you the tools that I used to create that jelly print look, which almost looks like honeycomb. And I used bubble wrap for that. So I'll show you that in just a moment. So here is where I had the idea of going through my supplies again and looking for a bee stamp. I can tell you with 100% certainty that I've never used a bee stamp in any of my work, but I knew I wanted a different bee look. And I didn't have any more stickers, and I didn't want to buy anything, you guys. I want to use whatever it is that I had in my stash, which is also challenging because I didn't want to go out and buy bee stickers or any bee elements. So I gold embossed the bee. Oh my gosh, it turned out so cute. Okay, and then that led to this. And because I was trying to create a honeycomb look, and then I remembered I had an old embossing folder that was called Honeycomb. And I inked it up and used it like a stamp. And I'm going to show you. You need, stick around, you guys. I'm going to show you how I did that technique with this one here. So I'm only going to show you how I worked on 2 different ones, because these last 2 right here on the left-hand side, this is what I had envisioned. And so we are going to make one of each of these using the embossing folder, one where I use it with the ink, and then the other where I actually just emboss. But I'm going to motion as to how I created that honeycomb jelly print look. I'm not actually going to jelly print, but I'm going to go through the motions and show you what I did, if that makes sense. So these right here, this is, I love how these turned out. You could see how the one on the left has the embossed honeycomb, and then the other one had the inking. And I'm just pointing out how I started with one, moved on to the second one, then the third one, then the fourth one, then the fifth one, and then I fell in love. This last one here that I created, oh my gosh, exactly what I had envisioned. But I didn't know that at the beginning. And so I had to start somewhere, and slowly by working, you know, the ideas begin to flow. And then voila, this is what I came up with. And I'm calling these little honeycomb houses because this is exactly what I am mimicking, the look of a little honeycomb and the little bee and its little house. And yes, absolutely love it. And now when I make little houses, I usually use non-window junk mail envelopes. But then I had the junk mail envelopes with the window, and the larger the window, the better, because now we can see inside the honeycomb. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is genius. And so now let me show you really quick what I kind of did to create this jelly print honeycomb look using bubble wrap. And for this, I actually stamped the bubble, not stamped, I used the bubble wrap directly onto the white envelope. And I didn't finish these. I will work on those too, because I like the way those turned out. My favorite, of course, are the window ones with the honeycomb inside. But I'm going to show you how I did the bubble wrap in just a moment. So these are some of the supplies that I gathered. Scraps of sunflower paper, and I believe this is all the sunflower paper that I have left. And then I had these old close to my heart stickers, and this is the last of those stickers. I've had these for a bit. These are quite old. And then so I didn't have a lot of sunflower, a lot of bee themes, and so I just kind of went through all my things. And then when I was brainstorming to try to come up with a honeycomb look, I thought, well, maybe if I use, bubble wrap, I can create and it really does look like the honeycomb print. So up ahead, I'm going to show you how I use the embossing folder. But if you don't have an embossing folder, you can totally use bubble wrap. And I grabbed my faux jelly print. If you want to see a video, I'm going to link it down below on how you can create your own faux jelly print plate. And then you need some bubble wrap. So what I did, and I'm just going to motion here what I did, you guys, I know. So you're going to have to use your imagination. So I took some paint and put it onto my fake jelly print plate, rolled it out with my brayer, and then I smooshed the bubble wrap onto the paint. And then I took the bubble wrap with the paint, and then I pressed it onto my colored cardstock to create this faux honeycomb look. And then I trimmed it down to size, and I collaged it on top of the envelope, as you can see the one on the right hand side. Voila! That is what I did. So I hope all of that makes sense. If you would like to see me demonstrate this look, I am happy to do it. Let me know in the comments below, and I can recreate this and play around with the jelly plate and the bubble wrap and come up with different looks and ideas. So I'm happy to do that. If I would have done it in this video, you guys, I mean, the video is long as it is, we would be here for days. So I'm trying to keep keep you interested without, dragging this for too long. Okay, so I am going to set these aside and we are going to begin to work on making some little honeycomb houses. They are so cute. I went through my junk mail envelope stash and I grabbed some of the envelopes that had the larger windows because I want to be able to see through to the honeycomb that's inside. And then I also grabbed this old honeycomb embossing folder. It is by Stampin' Up. And I'm telling you, if you don't have a honeycomb embossing folder, maybe you have something that resembles it, maybe something that is a hexagon shape or even a polka dot or a chain link fence, anything that would kind of resemble honeycomb will work. And then I went back to my stash and I remembered that I had some stickers, right? And so I found these stickers also from Dollar Tree. And I knew I had to have a bee stamp somewhere. And so I came across this one that is also from Dollar Tree. This was really fun because I was able to go through supplies that I've not used in a really long time. And I just love that the challenge that this created. Because I didn't have any bee stickers, I knew I had to come up with another idea. Oh, and this little stamp is also one from a Your Creative Studio. And so I found this one. Well, I remembered I had it after the fact. But the challenge here is that I needed to put my, creative thinking cap on. And what can I do to create a bee when I don't have stickers? I was ready to start drawing some bees, do something. And then I was like, I can emboss it with gold embossing powder. So that's how that came about. All of you know, well, I don't know if all of you know, but just so you know, I opened all of my junk mail envelope with my scissors on one of the long ends. So now if this is your first time watching this, you guys, I'll try to go slow and explain, but we are folding over. We're going to make a little house, and this is the foundation of it. This is the base. And all I did is I folded over the top flap about 2.5 inches, and that is what is going to be the roof of your little house. And now I'm going to cut the sides open, and I'm going to go about 1/2 inch past that fold line. And I'm going to show you why in just a moment. I have a lot of little house videos. I will have a playlist for you at the end of this video so you can watch this over and over and over again. But if you are here for the first time, welcome! You are going to love making these. These are so cute and so fun. So now you saw how I folded it down, and now I've got this flap. It's excess paper. I don't need it, so I am just going to cut at that first crease line right there, and then get rid of that excess. And that little piece of paper that's left over, I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to glue it down. And the reason I didn't cut it all the way up to the pocket line is because I need it to reinforce that edge so that it's a little bit sturdy, because it's not just a little house, it's a little house, a little honeycomb house envelope pocket. And I want to make sure that that pocket is reinforced, so that is why I left that little tab, that little piece of strip of paper there, to kind of make that pocket a little sturdier. See, and I've done it with the others as well. And so that right here is the beginning, the look of your little house. Now I went through my stash and I pulled out some colored cardstock that kind of resembled the look of honey or honeycomb. I was kind of limited with these colors. So, but this like a pumpkin rust color I thought was just perfect. I am measuring the width and the length of my envelope, and I am going to cut a strip of this rust color cardstock to fit the inside of the pocket. So I'm basically going to create a lining. And I measured it. Your envelope is going to be different from my envelope. And this one I believe was like 4 1/8 by 9 inches. But measure twice, cut once. And right now I'm just tucking it in to make sure that it fits smoothly into the envelope. And this is the lining. And this is the paper that I am going to use to emboss. And then after I have it embossed, then I will glue it down as the lining of the little house. And now notice how the embossing folder is so much smaller than my strip of paper, but I'm going to show you how you can use it on both ends. So I ran it through my Big Shot. Oh, isn't that just a beautiful look? Oh my gosh, the embossing is so gorgeous. And then I flipped over the paper and I am going to line it up very carefully. Make sure it's all lined up, and then I'm going to run it through the Big Shot again on the opposite end. So even though you don't have a super long embossing folder, but look at how easy that is to get all sides embossed. Take your time when you line it up, and there you go. Voila! All embossed and beautiful, and you can use either side. You have the deboss side and the embossed side, and you choose whatever makes you happy. We just want the inside of the pocket to show through that window. It's like you're looking inside a honeycomb. Isn't that so cool? Okay, so now this is where I am going to emboss the little bees. And I embossed on the outside of the envelope, but then I thought, how cool would it be if I embossed on the inside? You know, the bees inside the honeycomb. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was having so much fun creating these. And as I was working, I just had all of these other ideas going through my head. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun, just so much fun. So now I'm kind of eyeballing where I am stamping the little bee. And I'm using Versamark. It is a clear ink. And this is what I am going to use. And then I'm going to sprinkle gold embossing powder over and then use my heat gun to melt that powder and give me some golden bees. Oh my gosh. Turned out so stinking cute. And I kind of eyeballed. So you'll see, I'm going to show you in just a moment, because some of them I kind of didn't position them right, and so they're kind of obscured in the window. Anyway, you'll see, but it still turns out really, really nice. And so I'm just going to heat it up really quick. I edited that part out. I didn't think you wanted to watch me for, 3 minutes as this melted. So really quick, I just went over the embossing powder with my heat gun. Make sure that it cools down completely before you slide it into the pocket, because if that is still hot, it's going to singe your plastic. And also, don't use your heat gun close to the plastic on your junk mail envelope, because it'll just melt it. And so that's what I was pointing out there. So make sure that the heat embossing is all cooled down, and then slide it right into your pocket. So you can see that top bee. It's not too visible, but that's okay. You get the idea that there are little cute honeybees inside the pocket making honey in their little honeycomb house. And I am going to add a little bit of glue, and this will keep the lining in place. So cute, you guys. Like, I'm serious when I tell you I didn't know that this is this is the direction I was headed in. And it's all from just starting. So I know I already said this, but if you are having trouble executing your project, or sometimes we overthink things, we need to just stop overthinking and just start doing, because we will eventually the more we play, we will eventually get to the look the look we desire, or the look that we're after. So I've glued that down and I folded over the flap, and I have my bone folder handy. So as you're working, make sure you keep those folds creased, because there will be a lot of layers of paper. You just want to make sure that everything will open and close, and just keep everything nice and crisp and folded. So now I took some of the scraps of paper, of the sunflower scrapbooking paper, and I am going to add it to the roof, in quotation marks, of my little envelope pocket. And I measured it, and I'm going to trim it down to size. These actually, they happen to be the same width of my envelope. I got very lucky. So I just had to just cut it down to make sure it fits. The width was absolutely perfect. Lucky. I just got lucky that way. And I'm going to glue it to the front of the roof. And then I'm also going to leave a little extra so that it folds over onto the back side. And then just line it up. And then I cut that part out, but I do add a little bit more glue so that everything is completely glued down. And then I burnish it really well with my bone folder, make sure everything is stuck down really well. And then again, I am going to fold it and then use my bone folder to crease it. These are some of the papers that I am using in the signatures for the bee journals that I should have had finished by now. But you guys, I've been kind of busy. I've been a little bit busy with stuff. And so I should have had my bee journals done, oh my gosh, a couple weeks ago. But I'm just, I'm a little bit backed up. I just have other things that I'm working on outside of my crafting world. So look at how cute that is turning out. But yes, these beautiful sunflower papers will be part of the signatures of the bee journal. So I'm excited to finish those, and hopefully I'll have them done before the end of the month. I don't know. I'm not making any promises. I'm working as fast as I can. Now I'm going to take some of this really pretty washi tape. And like I mentioned earlier, this is washi tape that came in the Your Creative Studio. And I'm going to link that video down below. So if you would like to see the unboxing of this bee themed, or I think it was a bee themed unboxing from Your Creative Studio, I will link that video down below. It was so much fun. It was so pretty. And I made a project with that too. In fact, I made the covers for the bee journals with the contents of that Your Creative Studio unboxing. So I'll have that video linked down below. So I'm adding a little bit of washi tape to the front and to the back. I usually wrap it around in one go, but it wasn't going to line up how I wanted. So I had to use, I cut down a strip to the front and then flipped it around and then cut another strip on the back, only because they weren't going to line up from front to back. And then I really want to make sure that the washi tape is permanent. And so I'm adding some of this strong glue stick on there to make sure it doesn't come apart. And that washi tape, I don't think I've ever gone through washi tape as fast as I'm going to go through this one, because it's just so pretty. So now I'm gathering some of the stickers. And these do have a little bit of dimension. They have some dimensional foam squares on the back. And on some stickers, I leave it, and then others, I remove the foam backing. And that just gives it a more visual interest, and it looks really nice how some are more dimensional than others, and it just adds a lot more diversity and interest to the look of the pocket. Oh, and I also had these vinyl foliage. These are fern leaves and other kinds of leaves. And then I'm using the Ultimate Glue. This is great glue because it works on paper, but it also works on plastic, on metal, and on glass. And so I thought it would be perfect to use on these vinyl stickers. And also, I can't remember if these are from Dollar Tree or from Hobby Lobby. Maybe from both stores, because I know I've picked them up at both shops. And they may not be sunflower leaves, but I just wanted to add some greenery to this. And they came out really nice. And I love the fern plant. It is one of my favorites. And it coordinated really well with the sunflower. So don't be afraid to mix and match. You know, we're not looking here to create something realistic. We're just kind of giving the illusion of foliage and sunflowers. You know, the look of the sunflower. It doesn't have to be exact. I could have used die cuts. I do have dies where I could have die cut some leaves, but I'm moving my room around, you guys, for the millionth time. And I just don't. Oh, if you only knew. I've got stuff everywhere. And so some of the things are kind of hard to reach. And so I wanted to get this done right away, like sooner than later. And so that is why I chose stickers instead of die cuts. So, but it looks so nice. I love these fern stickers. And then I'm placing these Dollar Tree sunflowers, and I've had these for a while. So if you want some of these, I've had them for a while, and I haven't been to the Dollar Tree in a minute, so I don't know if they currently have them. But just like I have done with this project, I went through my stash, you guys. I went through all of my stickers and all of the papers, everything that I had within reach that was easier to get to. Because some of the stuff I'm telling you is in boxes and behind things and under things. So I just went through what was easy to get through to use up things from my own stash without having to go outside and purchase anything. So if you have something similar, you want to create something like this, go through all of your things. Challenge yourself to think outside the box and see what you can come up with to create your own honeycomb and the look of sunflowers. Maybe you don't have stickers, but maybe you have a sunflower stamp, or maybe you have digitals that are sunflowers, or maybe you can draw and paint your own sunflowers. So those are just ideas so that we can use the things that we already have to make beautiful things without having to go out and buy anything. You know what I mean? I mean, there's nothing wrong with buying stuff. I love buying things. I love new supplies. But every time I buy new supplies, I feel like I'm neglecting all of the other supplies that I already have. So I like to use a little bit of both. A little bit of new, a little bit of old. And so nothing wrong with new supplies, you guys. But let's start with what we have in our stash. So these are some of the stickers where I removed the backing. And so the larger one, I left it kind of dimensional, and then I tucked the two behind it and made a cute little sunflower garden theme. And then, oh my gosh, and then you've got the bees in the background. Stop it. Stop it. It's so stinking cute. And now I'm going to add some beautiful trim. And I know this trim may look like they're daisies, but for this project, they also look like cute little sunflowers. Turned out so cute. And I think if I would have used the trim on those first little honeycomb houses, I'm sure it would have elevated the look. And who knows, I may go back and add some. And to attach the trim, I am using Fabri-Tac. The Ultimate Glue works on fabric, but it kind of seeps through the fabric and stays tacky, and so I won't use it on fabric. I'll use Fabri-Tac for that. And so, and notice how I'm using like 3 different types of adhesive, and that's okay. Use what makes you happy. Use what works best with the items that you're working with. And I thought it needed a little gold embossed bee on the cover. I should have probably, in hindsight, I should have probably done that before I glued down the sunflower paper, but it was an afterthought. This is where you have to be really careful that you don't get your heat gun too close to the plastic window, because you will melt that, you'll melt it right off. And so I'm going to show you, I'm going to be very careful to keep the heat away from the window. So stinky cute. And so I just flipped that. I opened it, and now I'm keeping the heat away from the window. And doesn't that look so cute? Look at those golden bees, you guys. I am loving how these are turning out. I just loved how these turned out. So, so cute. I just can't get enough of these. Little honeycomb houses. And you know, I've made whimsical houses, Christmas houses, Halloween, fall, birthday. What else have I made? I can't remember, but I've made a whole bunch, just a lot of them. I would have never imagined that little honeycomb houses would have been on the list as well. So this was a happy, happy accident. Okay, so now we are going to work on a second one. And with this second one, instead of just embossing, I am going to ink the embossing folder. And I'm going to show you that in just a moment. So I grabbed another one of the large window envelopes, folding over the top half about 2.5 inches, and I'm going to crease it. And again, I'm going to cut the sides open. And I go through these, I make these very fast. I've been making these for a while now. So the more you make, you know, it just becomes a little bit easier. But if you need to see this again, just replay the video, you guys. Or watch my playlist. Remember, I'll have that at the end of the videos for you. So, so cute. And now I will cut right at that fold line. And remember, I'm leaving that little flap just to kind of reinforce that top edge. And I will glue that one down as well. I've had a lot of questions about how I use these little house envelope pockets, or what are they for? And I know that a lot of you are not junk journalers. I am a junk journaler. If you are here for the first time, it is what I do. I make junk journals and I make junk journal ephemera. And so these become a floating pocket in the junk journals, but you can also glue them down if you like, but mainly a floating pocket. Oh, I'll get back to that in just a moment. So I grabbed some distress ink, and this is in Rusty Hinge, and I'm just going to use the ink directly onto the embossing folder. This is a water-based ink, and so it's not going to permanently stain the embossing folder. It comes off very easily with water. And so if you are going to use an ink on your embossing folder and you're worried about staining the plastic, make sure you use a water-based ink, because if you use a permanent ink like the Memento or the Archival or even StazOn, that may leave a stain or a permanent mark. So use a water-based ink. And now I'm not running it through the embossing folder. I'm only using it like a stamp. I could have run it through the Big Shot. I said embossing folder, but I meant Big Shot. I could have run it through the Big Shot and it would be ink and embossed. But I opted not to run it through the Big Shot and just ink it up. Now, just like I did when the first one that I ran through the Big Shot on both ends, I'm doing the same thing with this one. I'm going to line it up so that I get the stamped image all across that strip of paper. And so take your time when you line it up. And if you're careful and patient, you'll get it just right. And ta-da! There you go. I have inked it all across. I did use an ink color that was very similar to this rust-colored paper. But I did want something a little more subtle. And I'm demonstrating here how easily this is going to clean off of the embossing folder with a little bit of water and just wiping it clean with my yellow cloth. Super, super easy. So nothing to worry about there. Isn't that so cute? Now, you need to let this dry. Because I am going to be using embossing powder, I want to make sure that this is 100% dry. But it didn't 100% dry, you guys. But guess what? I discovered something. It was a happy, happy accident, and I'm so glad that it happened. When I went to emboss or use the Versamark, as I'm doing here, and then when I sprinkle the gold embossing powder over the Versamark, and I'm going to show you in just a second, you'll see what I'm talking about. Some of the gold embossing powder attached or grabbed on to the inked embossing image. Does that make sense? So I was going to dust it off with my brush. So I grabbed my brush and I was going to dust off the excess. But then I thought, wait a minute. If I leave what is there, then the honeycomb design is also going to be gold. Oh! So I left it. And then I heat embossed it. And it's very subtle because it was like mostly dry. So you really can't tell. But you guys, happy, happy accident. In hindsight, had I known this, I would have totally gold embossed that honeycomb design and it would have been so beautiful. But I have a very subtle golden honeycomb design on the background of those golden bees. What a happy accident. Turned out so nice. And this one looks so cute through that window. I love how this one turned out. And again, I waited until it cooled down before I lined the inside of that pocket. And I forgot what I was talking about. I forgot what I was talking about, you guys. Oh my gosh. What was I telling you guys? I said, oh, I'll get back to that in just a moment. I apologize, but I don't remember. But if you want to know the end of that story and you remember what I was talking about, please leave me in the comments. Leave me a comment below and I can, I'll reply to your comment. Because right now I just kind of squirrel. I forgot what I was talking about. The inside lining was just a little bit shy of the full width of the envelope. But watch what I'm going to do. No one's ever going to know. I'm just going to trim that excess off. You could leave it or you could trim it off. So, so cute. The front of this envelope has the print and the markings. And I'm not going to collage all of that. I'm only going to cover up those words with some stickers. So I'll show you that in just a moment. So again, I took some of that sunflower paper and I am going to attach it to the roof. And I'm going to show you here where I kind of messed up. So I'm gluing it to the roof, but I didn't open it flat. And I just folded over the top. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. See right here, I folded it over. Instead of laying it flat, you guys, all open and flat, I folded over that top sunflower paper. What that did is it made it so that that fold, that crease, it's going to buckle. And I'm going to open it right now and show you what I'm talking about. Right here. This is what I mean by opening it up flat. You see how that crease, see how it the paper kind of buckled there? Yeah, so if you're going to glue something down, open it flat and then glue your top paper on there. So then I tried to fix it. So I tore the back part off because I didn't like the way it buckled at that top fold. So I tore it off, and then I cut another small piece of paper to fix it. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? But if you're going to glue something down, don't glue it down folded. Open it, lay it flat, and then burnish it evenly, or it's going to buckle at the crease line. I hope what I just said makes sense, and then the visual helped you as well. I'm glad I still had a little piece of that sunflower paper left over because I was using it up pretty fast. And then again, taking a little bit of the washi tape, and I'm going to use it to cover up the seams at the fold. And I really like the way it looks when I fold over the paper from the roof line to the back. I like the way that looks. It makes it for a very clean look. But I've also used lightweight papers when I've done that, and this is a heavier printed cardstock, and that's why it buckled on me. But the washi tape made it all better. And notice how the gold embossed bees on the inside they're not quite centered, and so I was just excited to get it done, and so I really didn't put too much thought into positioning those bees so they were clearly visible through the window. So when you do that, you want to make sure you position those just right, so so they're more visible through the window. I was just so excited, and I was working so fast. I'm using one of these older close to my heart stickers. I want to use a part of this sticker to cover up some of that print on the front of the envelope. I used to collage the entire envelope before, but now I only collage the areas that need to be covered. I like some of the envelope to show through. I like white area or white space, or even like the other one that was a yellow envelope. I like some of that to show through, so I don't collage all of the envelope. I'm only going to use half of this sticker because that is all I need to cover up some of that print. So that worked out nice. Had I not used this large sticker, I was ready to fussy cut some of the sunflowers from some of those leftover scrap pieces of paper. And I know you're looking at it right now and thinking, well, you covered up one of those bees. I did cover up one of those bees, but I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it and I'm going to make it more visible. But this is what I'm talking about, where I didn't put too much thought into the placement of those bees. So I stood back for a moment and I thought, how am I going to fix that? Because I don't like that my sunflower sticker covered up one of those bees. And so I thought about it for a moment and I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I will fix it in just a moment and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how I fix it. But for now, I'm going to add a few more of these sunflowers. And that's again to add more visual interest. I like how some of them are dimensional and they worked really well together. Those close to my heart stickers with these Dollar Tree stickers, they looked great. And then that area on the right hand side I'm pointing out that it may need some foliage. And I don't think, let me see, I have them right here in front of me. And I don't think I add the foliage on video, but I did add some of that fern leaf on the lower right hand side. And stick around to the very end and I will actually bring it up close to the camera and show you how I added more greenery to the bottom right hand side. Turned out really, really cute. Oh, I remembered what I was telling you. I was telling you that I'm a junk journaler and I make these for my junk journals. But guess what? If you are not a junk journaler and you are here for the first time and you're wondering, well, what do you use these for? These also make great gifts, you guys. So these are great little house pockets to use in lieu of traditional greeting cards. So you can write your beautiful sentiment on the back of these, and then tucked into the pocket, you can add a present. You can add a gift card. You can add cash. You can add a handwritten note. Anything in that pocket. I think someone said a chocolate bar also fits nicely into that pocket. So lots of great ideas. So you can use these as gift giving. How cool is that? You can also, if you do traditional gift wrapping, and you can also tuck this right under a bow on top of a gift wrapped present. If you are giving a present that is in a gift sack, you can use a clothespin, just like the ones I have there on the left hand side, and you can clip it to the gift bag. So these are not just meant for junk journals. These are also great little gifts, and I have given these. I have made these and I have given these in lieu of a happy birthday card. Oh, so cute. And then, and whoever, the recipient will be so impressed by your little house envelope pocket greeting card. So many ideas, so many great ideas. You can also use them as like bunting. You can make a whole bunch of them and then clip them to like some beautiful ribbon. And now you've got like bunting. How cute is that? I've done that as well. I did that last year for Christmas. Made a little Christmas house bunting. And they turned out so stinking cute. So this is how I'm fixing the fact that I covered up one of those little bees with my sunflower sticker. I am embossing some of these bees on some of these offcuts, and then I'm going to fussy cut them and then place it over the bee that I covered. And to save time, I wasn't going to have you watch me fussy cut. But I fussy cut them, and now I'm going to take one of them and I am going to glue it right over the one that is hidden behind the sunflower. So now it's going to be hovering over the sunflower. And ta-da, that is how I fix that. And so this is where, I had to stand back for a moment and think, how can I make this work? And so I think it turned out really, really nice. So don't give up. When I make mistakes all the time, but then my mistakes turn into happy accidents, and then I come up with new ideas. So don't give up. Just keep trying. Use your imagination, and we can fix it, you guys. We are paper crafters. We can fix it. And then I had the extra one, and I thought, oh, let's put it on the little roof of my little house. And I know I did that third one with the Your Creative Studio stamp. I'm not using that one today, but it looks really cute, and I will use it on some that maybe I make off camera. And then I'm just placing a block over it so that it completely dries flat. Didn't they turn out super cute? Oh my gosh, you guys, I sure hope you loved how these turned out. I love these so much. And so I've got a few more that I will be working on off camera. And one of these will be included in the junk journals that I am working on. So I am going to do the best I can to try to finish those bee journals before the end of the year. Don't go away, stick around, because in just a moment I am going to flip over the camera and I'm going to show you that one on how I added more foliage to it and give you one last look at that one. But right now, look at how beautiful they look. I didn't realize I had made 7 of them. So there you go, because they are so stinking cute. So I am going to flip over the camera for you just so I could say goodbye to you. So stick around. Don't go away.
Thank you so much for being here and watching my video and my process and my little tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you are able to create some of these super cute little honeycomb envelope pockets with whatever you have in your stash, you guys, just like I did, just like I went through all of the things in my stash. I hope you're able to create something similar. Okay, I told you I was going to show you a close-up of what I did to this one. So I added a little bit more foliage. I know the lighting is kind of tricky, but see how I added some foliage down here at the bottom just to kind of fill in some of that blank space. And then I also, oh, here, the lighting is better right there. And then I also added more foliage to the very top so you could see that. And so now we've got some beautiful honeycomb little envelope pockets. So cute. Remember, these are going to be included in the bee journals that I'm still working on. I know it's taking me a minute. Okay. And then, did I do anything to this one? No, but I just want to show you how cute it is again. Isn't that so cute? All right, you guys, I appreciate you guys being here with me. You guys are awesome. And I hope you continue to stick around. Did you remember to like and subscribe and to share and to comment and all of those things that help my YouTube channel grow so that I can, so that I may continue to be here for you creating content and then sharing it with the YouTube world as well. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I will see you later. Bye.